I have a huge, vehement distaste for mental medication. There is nothing wrong with you. Because even if there is something wrong with you, how do you benefit by saying there is something wrong with you and then accepting that label into yourself? They search for the medication rather than confronting the problem. Like, you don't have an anxiety problem. You need to deal with whatever the thing you're worried about is.
It's normal to not know what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you did, it wouldn't be called growth. High five your fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and carry on. Do you get tired, stressed, sad, hungry, frustrated, unfocused? Do you feel misunderstood? Great. You're human. You don't need medication.
I have a huge, vehement distaste for mental medication. And I think one is because it's overprescribed, two, because people over WebMD themselves, and fundamentally people find a problem with being human. And I think a lot of that is because of the social norm that we should be never hungry, never sad, never angry, never frustrated, never feel like we're misunderstood. And those are the troughs and peaks of humanity. And we can't only wish for sunny days, because otherwise we'd have droughts and everyone would die. And so it's wishing for something that isn't true and will never happen. It's wanting a lie, which is why I'm so against it. Now, are there people who they can test their neurology and whatever? Maybe, but like, honestly, 100 years ago, this didn't exist. And people just dealt with life. And I think people were happier then than they are now. And so clearly this solution hasn't been much of a solution at all. And so I don't have that many extreme stances. Well, maybe I do. But one of my extreme stances is that there is nothing wrong with you. Because even if there is something wrong with you, how do you benefit by saying there is something wrong with you and then accepting that label into yourself? Because the alternative to that is accepting your current existence as maybe this is better than everyone else's, and I'm just choosing to believe that it's wrong. And all of this is around some big, mighty should that we think and that we worship, that we should be a certain way that we're not. And I think that discrepancy, that word, I've tried to eliminate as much as humanly possible from my vocabulary. Because I should what? I should nothing. According to whom? Why should I be happier? Why should I have less anxiety? Why should I feel more understood? And so pretty much the beginning of every ad for Levitra or whatever the new serotonin, SSRI thing is they describe humanity. They just say are you hungry? Are you tired? Are you horny? Are you dissatisfied in any way? Well, the cure of that is a pill, which I wholeheartedly decry anything that gives an if-then statement for happiness. So you will own nothing and be happy. You want to say that you're going to change my external condition to change how I feel? I just reject it as any kind of if-then I will be happy. But the pill, the over-medication part, I've had too many people too close to me ruin their lives, topping from SSRI, and getting on cocktails of pills, and they've got a sleep med, and they've got a wake-up med, and they're just a walking pharmacy.
It's crazy for people who aren't American to look at the way that America deals with this. I remember, so in the UK, just for context, you can't get prescribed melatonin. You can't buy it over the counter.
Right.
You can't buy it on Amazon. My video guy, when he flies over here, takes it back he's smuggling, he's like Pablo Escobar, but with melatonin tablets instead. Going into CVS, am I allowed to get this? That's the degree of difficulty that it is to get prescribed anything. And in America, the first place that people turn when they have a problem is the pill bottle.
I mean, I have two physician parents. So and I would say Western, for the most part, Western medicine through just belief in all pharmaceuticals and all that kind of stuff. And so I grew up really close to it. My grandfather is a physician. So just lots of medicine in the family in general. And I just hate it. I really do. I don't hate a lot of things, but I hate what it does to people. And more, the underlying thing is that they reject being human and they think there's something wrong with them. And so many people waste all of their time trying to solve a problem that is life rather than living it. And it drives me nuts. Like they search for the medication rather than confronting the problem. Like, you don't have an anxiety problem. You need to deal with whatever the thing you're worried about is. Like, I mean, man, I have too many controversial beliefs. I'm getting into too much of it. Like, you drink a lot because you're stressed. If you deal with the thing that stresses you, that's the trigger for you drinking. So yes, there's addictive properties to drinking. I'm not denying that. But the thing that leads to the drinking, the condition that creates that, that's something that you can attack. And so I think so little attention is given to accepting reality rather than saying there's something wrong, that people waste their entire lives searching for an answer that doesn't exist.
What about, it's normal to not know what you're doing? If you did, it wouldn't be called growth. High five your fear, uncertainty, and doubt and carry on.
If you knew what you were doing, then you would be stagnating because you'd be doing nothing new. And so if you're going to do something new, then that is what would be the catalyst for growth. And so you can't want to grow and also want to know everything you're doing at the same time. It's like the two beliefs contradict one another. And so I think that's a lot of the discontent that people suffer from, is they want two things that are polar opposites. They want the really strong character. They want the easy life. Like, one is the price of the other. You have a hard life to have great character. You have an easy life. You have shitty character. Everything came easy. You want to grow. You don't want hardship. Hardship creates growth. And so they want both, and you can't. Like, it's wanting the Jordans without paying the price. And the price isn't bad. It's just the price is what it is. And so it's just, do you want the Jordans or not? And if you do, then don't lament the price tag, pay the price tag, and be happy you have the Jordans. And if you don't want the Jordans, then don't buy them.
There's something in here is around comparing the lessons that people who have achieved success tell you about how to also achieve success when they're using that pattern, which is, well, they look like they know what they're doing. I should look like I know what I'm doing. I should feel like I know what I'm doing. But you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
You're a white belt, and that person's a 3rd degree black belt in whatever it is that you're trying to pursue.
State the facts and tell the truth. I mean, the amount of, 900 follower Instagram accounts that all I see is people espousing advice on how to grow their social media following. You're never going to win. Like, you don't get it. I've been following, you don't get it, because the content of what you're putting out, the evidence that encapsulates your message disproves literally everything you say before you open your mouth. And the thing is that people are obsessing about the algorithm and this type of font, and I should do vertical format, and I should do horizontal format. And I use this as an analogy that you can draw to anything. But everyone has that friend who is a train wreck on relationships who gives relationship advice. It's just like, it doesn't even matter if the advice is good. You're a train wreck. It's the fat friend who gives advice on how to be fit. It's just like, and they're like citing all these studies, and you should try these supplements. It's like, you're a fat. Just shut up. Stop. Don't waste your breath. No one is listening. And so it's missing the big obvious thing. And so again, it's like that big domino. You're like, I want to get into fitness. Like, there was a friend of mine actually, who's in the fitness space. And he's like, I really want to grow my fitness business. And obviously, like, I have books on it and I have videos and did that for a whole past life. And I was like, dude, you're not in shape. He's like, but I know all these. I was like, you don't look like someone that anyone wants to look like. And so the thing is, like, for whatever you're doing, the big one thing is, like, if you looked like a shredded god, you could say, eat fried chicken every day, and people would buy your. Because, like, what's the one big domino that if I just did that, everything else would take care of itself? Do that. And every ounce of effort you're putting into not doing that is a waste.
Basically the V-shred model.
They're actually really nice guys. Yeah, they're here in Vegas.
All right, well, he was like public enemy number one.
For the fitness bros, yeah.
What was your definition of trauma that you taught me on the phone?
Oh, yeah. So, because this word is so thrown around on social media, my God. I was like, okay, I have to define this so that I can try and like understand it. So I believe trauma is when you have a punishing event that permanently changes behavior. That's it. So if you, are a kid and you touch the stove and you burn your hand and you never touch the stove again, you were traumatized. Now, the thing is that that's a positive consequence. So is trauma bad? I don't know. Was the consequence bad in that situation? No. And so a lot of people use this person traumatized me as the transgression, whereas the question is, what was the result of that quote trauma? Because trauma is just accelerated learning. And so if you have PTSD, for example, if you were abroad and had lots of bombs going off, then you had rapid learning. So you have trauma that permanently changes your behavior around loud noises. And so you generalize loud noises from this environment to now when someone honks, you freak out and you think about those situations, right? And so just defining the world around me has helped me navigate it a lot better so that I can understand what we're talking about. Because there are so many, people like trauma is a feeling in your body that you have to release the trauma. I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't release trauma. You change behavior due to a stimulus. That's it. And so if you want to change your behavior back, you create a new condition that reinforces the new behavior you want. Period. Because otherwise, we appeal to mysticism and we just say lots of like nonsensical that the whole woo-woo world is all about.